Thanks for joining me today. Today we're looking at really fantastic fall recipes, and so this is one of my favorite. It's one of my boys' favorite as well. So we're going to do a type of curried lentil, and so I'm going to go over the ingredients of what we're using today. So first thing we're using is red lentils, and so there's quite a few different varieties of lentils. But I'm going to use the red lentils. I like these because they cook quicker, so it can cook in about 20 minutes or so, which is really nice. Lentils are packed with tons of nutritional qualities. One, they're a fantastic source of protein, also a fantastic source of fiber, both insoluble and soluble fiber. So soluble fiber is what's used to help keep cholesterol regulated in the body, and your insoluble fiber is kind of what helps regulate your digestive system, so everything to do with elimination. So lentils are really fantastic for that. Lentils are also a really great source for folic acid, and folic acid has numerous important functions in the body, but two that I'll focus on is just heart health. And so folic acid really helps keep inflammation in check in the heart by reducing homocysteine levels in the body. And the other great thing about folic acid is that it's needed for pregnancy, and it's needed for proper development of babies. And so it's really important for women who are thinking of becoming pregnant or who are already pregnant to get adequate folic acid sources in their diet. So that's lentils. The other star in this recipe is millet. And so as far as our grain, we're going to use millet, which is a gluten-free grain. Millet is a really great source of magnesium, and magnesium has a lot of functions in the body, but it's really good at relaxing smooth muscles. And so it kind of just makes everything relax. And so when that happens, we can see decreased blood pressure, we can see improved mood, we can see decreased migraines, and benefit for asthma as well. As far as the greens go in this dish, one is parsley. And so parsley it's an herb, and it's often actually overlooked. So most people just think about parsley as garnish on a plate. It's much more than that. It's really packed with lots and lots of nutritional benefits. One of them being that it's a very, very high source of vitamin K. Vitamin K is used to make really healthy, strong bones. And so parsley is used a lot when I think of anyone who has osteopenia, osteoporosis, or is any concern as far as bone strength goes. Parsley is also really high in folic acid. So just like lentils, parsley is great for any women who are thinking of becoming pregnant or who are already pregnant, and it also has great benefit for heart disease as well. So I strongly encourage parsley to become a more regular part of the diet. The other green that we're using is spinach, and so spinach is definitely a more well-known green. Packed full of iron, so it's a really great source of vegetarian iron, which is really nice for anyone who's suffering from anemia. Tons of B vitamins and minerals also in spinach, and it adds wonderful flavor. Garlic, and so we've got chopped garlic here. Garlic and onions come from the same family, and so they have that characteristic smell that comes from the sulfur components of both of these plants that give it a lot of the medicinal properties. And so in addition to these both being really great for fighting bacteria, viruses, and fungal infections, the sulfur components are great anti-inflammatory, and so very good for the cardiovascular system. And in fact, there's been some studies done on garlic showing that it does reduce blood pressure and it does reduce cholesterol in the body. So these are both fantastic additions to any meal as far as that goes. Herbs. So our first herb is nettles, and so these are dried nettle leaves. I really love to use nettles because, again, it's another fantastic source of minerals as far as plants go. Really, really high in iron, so like spinach, it's really useful for anyone suffering from anemia, and good source of magnesium as well. So I really encourage adding nettles to food, and it actually offers a really nice taste. And then our last herb is turmeric. And so turmeric has this beautiful orange color. It's very bright and vibrant. It's traditional Indian herb, so used in a lot of Indian cooking. Most famously, turmeric is used as an anti-inflammatory. So anyone who's suffering from joint pain or any type of autoimmune condition, we usually often encourage to increase turmeric in the diet. Recent studies have also shown that turmeric is fantastic for preventing Alzheimer's, and so it's good for upstairs too. So any type of age-related decline, you want it to increase turmeric into the body. So here's our key ingredients, and now let's put it together. All right, so we got our pan hot, and so the first step is that we're gonna add in some olive oil. It's about 1/4 cup of olive oil. You can also use ghee, which would be kind of more traditional. I like to use olive oil because I feel like it has a little bit of a lighter taste. And then once the oil's hot, what we're gonna do is add in the onions and the garlic. What we want to do is let this simmer until the onions are just starting to get a little bit translucent. But you want to be careful that you don't burn the garlic, okay? So you do want to keep stirring while you're doing this step to not burn the garlic. This is one of my favorite smells in the kitchen, these two things sauteing together. Okay, the onions are just starting to soften now, so now we're going to go ahead and add the millet and the lentils. I like to mix this around and let the millet get just a little bit toasted before we add the water. Next we're adding the turmeric, so it's a 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. Turmeric is what gives a lot of the Indian dishes that beautiful yellow hue. It's really aesthetically pleasing in cooking. Okay, I've got 4 cups of water, so that goes right in. And then I give it a good stir just to make sure that the lentils and the millet haven't stuck to the bottom of the pan. Okay, next I'm adding the greens. So I have the parsley and the spinach. And lastly, the nettle leaves. I'm going to give these a stir. Nice pinch of salt. And pepper. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and put the lid on and let this come up to a boil. Then once it comes up to a boil, we're going to let it drop back down and just simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes until all the water is absorbed. All right, so our lentils have been simmering for about 30 to 40 minutes. So let's see if they're done. You can see all the water is absorbed, so it looks really good, and all the greens have kind of melted down, so you know that it's done. So this is the recipe for curried lentils with millet. Let your food be your medicine.